So, so here's Crusoe. He has his goals which he set out for himself. He has his values which he's trying to achieve. And he's got limited scarce resources, land and labor, which he has to apply very quickly to achieving these ends. Now, the ends that he has to achieve, he ranks on a scale of values. He has to rank them because he's got to choose, how does he allocate his time, for example? Does he spend the next 3 hours looking for berries or hunting fish or whatever? So, he's got to decide whether, he decides on how to allocate his time on the basis of his value scale. And the value scale, it doesn't have to be very elaborate. As a matter of fact, it's something like, the example again I use for students is, you have a choice of how to spend a block of 3 hours tonight. And you have, like 8 choices. You actually have a lot more in New York. You can go to half a dozen movies, a party, and concert, and so forth, and that way down the list is reading your homework, number 20 or something. You make up a little chart for yourself, and you pick what you think is going to be the highest in your value scale. And you allocate your 3 hours to that. So, this value scale is it's amazing how much heavy weather has been made out of this very simple concept of economics. How much, millions of wasted words have been spent on this topic. At any rate, it's really a fairly simple concept, basically. Namely that it's a strictly ordinal scale in the first place. In other words, you're ranking your first movie, second movie, and third movie. You're not saying, well, I think I will prefer this movie 2.8 times more than the second movie. That's obvious nonsense. I mean, what do you mean by 2.8? One thing. You're making strictly ordinal choices. Rankings, first, second, and third. Well, I prefer this first, this second, this third. Anything else is really, is really meaningless. If you say, I prefer seeing this person 2.7 times more than seeing that person, it's ridiculous. There's no unit that you can use for measurement. So Crusoe or anybody else ranks his values on this ordinal value scale. And the scale can change over time. It usually does. As people learn more, they satisfy one want, and another one pops up, and so forth. And of course, different people have different values and different value scales. They might have even the same values, but different rankings for them. But the point of this value scale is strictly ordinal. It cannot be measured. It's really still being fought out in economics, and it's an amazing thing.